Second thing, let's talk about the number of times that you can call someone. It doesn't mean how many times you let the phone ring. It means how many times can you call someone, let it go into voicemail, and then call them back again until it goes into voicemail. One guy actually called me about 38 or 34 times. For the beginning, I was in the shower, and then when I came out, I saw that he called me like 14 times in a row. Then it became a challenge between me and him. I'm like, I'm not going to pick up, and I'm going to see how long you're going to keep doing this. And he's like, I'm going to keep doing this until you pick up. So he called me about 38 different times, you know. One guy was boasting to me that he called someone 54 times in a row. He'd go into voicemail, hang up, send. Go into voicemail, hang up, send. 54 times in a row. And he's proud of this, you know. So let's make a comparison here. Someone visits your house, they come to visit you, and we're talking physically now. So physically, whatever that entails, they put on their coats, their boots, they take the bus, they drive their own car all the way to your house across town, they walk up the stairs, they come and knock on your doorbell, or knock on your door. So if you heard the first knock, you don't answer. They knock again, you heard the second one, you don't answer. The third one, you don't answer, what are they supposed to do? They're supposed to go back, right? Or, what if you open the door and say to them, Assalamu alaikum, kayf halak, and everything, but I'm so sorry, but this is actually not a good time. What should he do, or she? Leave. Should they get angry? They don't have the right to get angry. See, Allah Azza wa Jal teaches us here who has more rights. And the person who's in their home, they have more rights. So, Allah Azza wa Jal says in the Quran, وَإِن قِيلَ لَكُمْ ارْجِعُوا فَارْجِعُوا هُوَ أَزْكَى لَكُمْ. Allah Azza wa Jal says, and if it's said to you to return, if it's told to you, go back or return, it is better for you. This is the rule here. If someone tells you go, and this is not a good time, you go back, you go back. Or if you knock 3 times and no one answers, you start to go back. And meaning that it's enough to believe that they heard the first knock and second and third, and no one answers, then it's time for you to turn around and go back. Then you all know the narration of Umar radiallahu anhu, when the man knocked on his door 3 times, he didn't open. But he opened a while later. When he opened the door, the man was way over there because he was following the sunnah. So you don't get angry with someone. One, they were being very honest with you. You should appreciate the fact that they're that honest with you. And which means that there's some level of closeness between you. Because most people now, if you were a stranger, they'd be too embarrassed to tell you that. But the fact that they told you that, they're honest with you. The fact that the two of you now are doing a sunnah that's a forgotten sunnah. So you don't get angry whatsoever. Allah Azza wa Jal says, go back, it's better for you. That means it's better. So this is what's supposed to happen. So this is someone who is physically all the way got to your house, and you have the right to not answer them, and you have the right to turn them back. What about someone who just simply hits a few buttons, and he enters into the middle of your home? Your phone is in your living room, your bedroom, it's ringing. This person, by pushing these buttons, makes this noise in the middle of your house, not just at your door. He might be with his family, with his children, and now you're disturbing him in the middle of his home. If he decides to not pick up, it's totally up to them. You didn't even go through the effort of changing and driving over to their house. If you went through the effort, you don't have the right to get angry. Let alone if you just push a few buttons. If they don't answer, that's their right. You don't have the right to get angry. And you can make excuses for people. Maybe the person was sick, and it happened. Maybe he's in the restroom. Maybe he forgot the phone in his car. Anyone here forget your phone in the car? It happens so many times. You leave your phone in the car, you go upstairs. If someone calls you, you come back, you find like 5, 6 missed calls. It's possible. So maybe he left the phone in his car, or maybe his battery died and he left the charger at work, so he won't have it for another 12 hours or what have you. It's all possible. Maybe he lost the phone. Seek excuses for people. But most people, they don't seek excuses for you, and they start to get upset. So you find if you lose your phone or you leave it in your car and you come back, you find like 4 or 5 messages from the same person. And you listen to the voicemail message, and every time you see the message, you keep getting angrier and angrier. First message, Assalamu alaikum, hey, kayf halak, it's me, Ali, give me a call. Okay. Second message, hey, it's me, Ali, give me a call, I called you, man, give me a call back. Third message, yeah, I've been calling you for the last 3 minutes, you still haven't answered my call. Type, wait a little bit, leave one voicemail and state your message, and that's it. But people just keep getting angry, and then they accuse you. Maybe you hate them, maybe this and that, maybe you ignore them. But actually, maybe I did ignore you. I have the right to ignore you if I want to. I'm not forced or compelled religiously to answer your phone call. But you know, people sometimes they lost these mannerisms of visitation. And I'll tell you, in certain countries, when someone doesn't answer the door after 3 knocks or rings, what happens? You start to become creative. No, you don't go back. You start to become creative now. So then they start to find little stones, and they start to throw them at your windows. Yeah, this is well known in certain countries. Like in Sudan, where I'm from originally, the person doesn't answer. First you knock like that. Maybe there's a power outage or electricity, blackout or what have you. So you hit the doorbell, no one answers. You hit knock on the door. If they don't answer, then you take a rock and you hit the door with the rock. It's much louder. And then they don't answer, then you can be creative. You can be hitting the doorbell, knocking on the door, calling them on their phone, and throwing stones at the same time. Because I need to get you out of there, One of my friends, he said he was sleeping in his home, and it's a hot country, the window is open. He's sleeping, taking a nap, fast asleep. He's sleeping like this. He says a rock smashes on his forehead. Imagine you're napping and suddenly, whap, a rock hits your forehead. He said, I got so mad, I didn't even want to know who the person was. He said, I just put my head out the window without opening my eyes. I said, whoever it is, you better leave or I'm going to come down and kill you. He says, 2 weeks later, this guy comes up to me. He's like, what's with you? The other day you were threatening us, ya akhi. Ya akhi, look at this guy. Allah concealed his identity and he exposes himself. But, people lost the rules of visitation, and they become more aggressive in trying to get you to answer, and more creative. And it also could be that someone might not like you. Inshallah, this doesn't apply to any of you, but there was one guy in our area, and he had a very, very dangerous tongue. This guy, he would always either speak about this man's wife or this man's mother, just always trying to expose people's faults, and he would call you and insult you first, and then tell you about other people. So, who wants to talk to someone like this? You want to talk to anyone like that? So I used to ignore him. A whole year I'm ignoring the guy, he doesn't get a clue. It's like, why don't you, what am I going to tell him, yani? That's the best way I can tell him, is I don't want to talk to you, but I don't want to tell it to his face, So, but they keep pushing it. He would never answer my calls. Never in a whole year. What does that tell you, Habibi? A whole year, you didn't get the clue?